Welcome back to the Emergency Power Podcast. You've made it through the trials of Akiton. So, sit on down and watch as the truth unfolds before your eyes.
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Oh, we're back.
We're
Yes.
The truth is out there.
yes.
Hit the X-Files theme.
I am
Yeah,
so
it's like
pumped
a
to be
good
back.
little summer break.
Does not feel like it.
Yeah,
To me.
between like editing and other projects, I don't feel like there has been a break. So I'm still going right now.
That's okay, Adam. That's what we need to do. Just give you more work to do. Keep
Nice.
Easy, yeah.
going. We appreciate it
I'm
a lot.
not feeling the crushing pressures of getting things right or anything.
Yep. Okay, well, we're going to do all the work this time, right? That's going to be good.
Possibly. Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff just happened. There's a lot in your guys' laps, so it's kind of, yes, up to you what you guys take care of first, what you prioritize. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so let's do this then. Since everyone turned into a sudden silence, we'll just go.
It's just like so much
Nah, I'm just ready.
anticipation.
Yeah, it's anticipation.
Yeah. Let's see what happens first.
Patient. This fight has ended as the flames subside to embers. The true struggle has only just begun. On the horizon is a coming war which threatens to not only swallow this system, galaxy, and universe, but all existence. We stand in a moment of quiet, but make no mistake, the beast has awoken. Its bellows quake the stars. The war has just begun in the tomes of emergency power. 0 hour.
Oh gosh.
When last we left the crew, they had fought their way through to the labs of the contemplative Narians in the tallest tower in the city of Nuai, finding the grim dervish waiting with a smile. They faced down not only this hateful inferno, but the fear within their own minds and even the presence of a godlike being, the most ordained commander. Their ship, the Second Hand, was taken down in a screaming flame, as was a good friend. Now they stare at the cloning chamber, which holds a recovering Narians, while an injured Myrani struggles with glowing runes across their body. A well-dressed man presides over it all, claiming responsibility for orchestrating a string of events which led from the Stella Delar to Adaptive Evolutions Incorporated. Mr. Business's words still hang in the air with infinite gravity, yet weightless and surreal. From this point on, your knowledge of the truth cannot interrupt the flow of events further. You must now learn why I sent you to the Metadosa in the first place.
What?
What is the metadosa?
That's where we got trapped. That's where we picked up the second hand.
The system we encountered in the drift.
You sent us there? You fired a torpedo at us?
It was necessary to set off a chain of events that would bring the Sylann into this universe before they were fully prepared.
Necessary? My family was put in danger because I couldn't come back to Pact Worlds.
If you have orchestrated this series of events before, then you can assist us in the present. Help me find a means of controlling these runes on my ward.
And my siblings.
We need answers. We may not be able to press Nerians for them yet. Possibly he is still regenerating from whatever treatment Pons has administered.
And they look over at Pons. Well, they have had precious few moments to recover. You might be able to awaken them.
To Pons's knowledge, could I potentially remove Nerians from the vat that he is in without causing him more harm? Or is it more like I can wake him up, but he's got to stay in there?
So at this point, Narian's body is regenerating. They've shrunk down from the I believe it was SUV-sized brain was the description,
Yep.
down to not quite half that. There's still a large brain, but it is, a little smaller than it was. And it seemed, and I believe you did a medicine check on it last time, that now that they've recovered a little bit, they could more safely be removed from this chamber.
Okay. So Pons will kind of look around and just gesture. Could anyone help me out for a second? I think it's worth a try to get him out of there.
I will assist. 5e steps forward next to Pons.
So we'll stay with my Ronnie.
Whisker is still poring over all of the research documents that are scattered throughout the lab, trying to find the notes that Nerians might have about doing all of this.
Hopefully I didn't fry the computer system that would allow us to unlock the chamber by crashing down onto it last episode. So yeah, I'm going to look if there's a mechanical release or...
Yeah, roll me computers.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Whoops.
Yeah, that's not my strength there. That's going to be a 12.
That right there is definitely a computer.
I knew it.
5e sees Pons staring at the computer terminal and says, "Do you require assistance?"
Yeah, he didn't really let me touch these that much, actually. I more did the chemical compounds and ran other parts of the lab, so have a shot at it.
Okay. I'll throw a computer's roll of only a 17, sadly. And if I see any physical damage that I could patch around to make this work as intended, I could throw an engineering as well.
Okay. So yeah, if you want control of the chamber right next to you guys back, then yes, it will require some sort of repairs because that explosion did a number on it. So yes, if you'd like to give me engineering, you're welcome to work on that.
You took away Adam's fun in battle. Now he's going to take away your fun in RP.
Yes, I will take it away by having you roll an engineering check.
Yeah. Pons will try to assist and does not with an 8.
24 it is.
Okay. With a 24, it seems like half of this console is more or less inoperable, but you can take the parts and try to reroute them to the other part. Like one of the monitors is just completely blown out and a lot of circuits are fried. You can get it working, but it's limping a little bit.
The visual interface is damaged, but I believe I can simply interpret the nodes as they pass. Shouldn't be a problem.
And with that, you have enough control that you could indeed open the chamber.
All right. 5e will do so at Pons' ascent.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead and open it up, and Pons will fly over, kind of hovering around Nerian's container.
Disengaging containment. And 5e moves next to him to support the weight of this massive creature.
All right, so you guys climb up on top, and the hatch spins open and lifts out of the way as you guys reach in, grab Nerians, and begin pulling them out. So you pull them out of the chamber and just drag them out onto the violently blue rug that's in the middle of the room.
Violently blue.
Pons will try to make a mental connection as he lays Nerians down. Just, hello? Can you get up?
So it's mentally quiet for a few minutes, and then you feel a stirring as Nerians begins to slowly hover off the ground about an inch. And you see their tiny little eyes blink open. And they look up and see Pons and an unfamiliar robot standing over them. What? Pons, how are you? What's going on?
This is my friend 5e, and I just kind of gesturing, looking around, and this is the rest of the crew. What do you last remember?
Things feel a bit foggy, but were you here before? Pons, did you come back before now? I recall speaking with you.
Yeah, you were still in the vat, and you were connected to this machine, and chemicals were getting...
I see.
But I was able to come up with a serum to help recover you. and just kind of doing another medicine check briefly. Like he seems to still be in the process of recovering. There's no side effects that are immediately apparent.
Yeah, you see that the veins have more or less receded, and they look actually fairly decent now. It's even in this short time. They look probably better than they have in a while.
Okay. Yeah. And Pons is like, it seems like it's working. Are you feeling okay?
Yes, actually, I'm. And they look around. I have not been out of my chamber for some time, so it's nice to get the fresh air. And they're just kind of looking over the motley crew that is all of you guys. It seems you've made friends. Pons, I'm proud of you. This is an accomplishment.
That's kind of sad. Just a little bit.
What an accomplishment.
Whisker kind of comes around the corner and sees that you all are helping Nereans up and says, "Oh, good, you're up. I can't make heads nor tails of a lot of these notes. There's references to a Professor Day. Maybe we can reach out to them and see if there's any research that they have. Or if you're feeling up to it, Professor Nereans, we need your help. My siblings are hurt. They've been, I don't know how to say other than cursed."
My ward Myrani has had symbols applied to his skin which are being used to control him by a third party. They seem to have something in common with the symbols near your machinery as well.
Who is this Professor Day that you reference in all of your notes?
I'm gonna roll something. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's tricky because I don't know how much of the conversation that we had that he remembers, and I don't know what the last thing he remembers is. So there's a lot of information dump we kind of have to do just to get him up to date.
Yeah. As you come in on this scene, Whisker, and start telling him about Professor Day and these Ysoki that have been affected, they start kind of looking around a little harder, and you see them turn, and they seem to catch notice of the runes that are on the ground. Let me have a look at them. And they will head over to the two Ysoki first.
Is he still huge or large?
I have his token at 1.5 size.
But he's no longer like SUV sized. He's still just
yes,
biggish.
he's not fully large. He's just big for normal size.
He was in a vacuous tube, so he was kind of enlarged.
Yeah, he was sucking him apart. I forgot I have children on this podcast.
I was just like, I have to stop yourself and change a word after saying that. That was great.
Sucking him.
Sucking him apart.
Nope, sorry. All I got was sticking a brain in a penis pump, and that couldn't.
Wow, that's worse.
That sort of thing is my bag, baby.
So they look down at the two Ysoki. Yes, I think it would be wise to move them to the chambers in the other room. Quickly, now.
Yes, of course.
And Pons will kind of whisper in Narian's figurative ear. I believe Dr. Day used some sort of splicing, and you mentioned dark magic to create these sort of clones of himself. It's not the only thing he did, and kind of gesturing back to the vat that Narian's was just in, he was projecting himself, and he has been attacking our friends and attacking our family. We're trying to find a way to undo the things he's done.
Anyone rolling perception on that?
Anything you can.
Yeah, I mean, technically, by rules as written, people within 5 feet can try to intercept mental communications.
Yeah, I don't care. This could be out loud, technically. So if anyone wants to try to hear it, I'm not trying to be super secretive. I'm just more like trying to update him without bothering him.
5E's a bit more concerned about getting Myrani over to the room where the other treatment and containment units are, but he's close by, so I'll roll. No, 5E doesn't notice. He's too engaged in taking care of Myrani. That's a natural 1.
I'd only roll if this happened while I was moving the dovetails. I don't think I'd be close enough otherwise.
Am I close enough to try? Cool if not.
Yeah, it's fine. Go ahead.
12. No, focused on my Ronnie.
So after a moment, Pawns, their mental presence turns to you. So I see Professor Day has returned. And they go over and now look down at my Ronnie. Yes, it seems that these runes are unfortunately familiar. And they look over at the ones that are surrounding the large chamber. If I had a few moments, I might be able to discern what they do.
We need to know what they do, please, and how to stop them.
By all means, we would appreciate any help you can give him.
They start essentially looking over my Ronnie as my Ronnie kind of stirs. They seem to be... that's interesting. First, they seem to me to be repressing some sort of abilities, but as far as I can see, with these other combinations, it looks that they're not repressing energy so much as redirecting it. What else can you tell me about this child?
Fivey will go over the clinical details as best as his banks have recorded it over time.
Okay. Yes, well, I cannot determine the extent of what is being repressed. It seems that this child has some sort of inherent abilities, perhaps magical in nature, that are being redirected to the transformation that you have alluded to. Why you would do that rather than allowing it to just manifest on its own, I'm not sure, but that seems to be what's taking place.
Redirected from what?
And to what?
Imagine that this child is a battery. It might be charging different things. For example, its natural abilities may have been towards a spell casting, but it's being redirected towards something else. This mutation, think of it as an aperture plugged in, or, as I said, redirected.
The dervish is using him. He's trying to use him as a weapon through this. Can you help us? How can we stop it?
Yes, if your research contains the necessary data, we may be able to reconstruct a process by which we can neutralize these and determine if it is safe to do so.
Do we need to warn this Professor Day that they might be in trouble as well if the dervish came after you?
I don't feel that it would be necessary to warn Professor Day, as
Are they dead?
I believe this is their work.
So we have a name.
This Professor Day became the dervish?
That sounds familiar from somewhere.
Tiefling, big, red, swept back horns. Obnoxious.
An infernal humanoid entity capable of transferring its consciousness from body to body.
Oh, yes. Forgive me, it's still... They seem to have, zoned out for a moment, but as you guys remind them, they snap back to it. Yes, Pawns, you told me this, didn't you? Yes, it seems that Professor Day has begun using magics again.
I feel like we're going to need a complete download, but maybe this is not the moment. We've got people who need help.
Yes.
Right, of course.
The Yutsokis, I think in order to help re-establish their original DNA, we would want to begin with perhaps a sampling of Yusoki DNA that is of close association or something of that manner.
Whisker, can you still provide that?
Is half-sibling close enough?
Do we have any items from Scriff that would, maybe have a hair on him?
Or still?
And Whisker kind of looks over their arms, says, half-sibling and also half-Hisoki.
They do the mental equivalent of putting on their glasses as they look at you. And, fascinating. I would care to know more about you, but I believe this is not the moment, as has been stated. I have some concerns. What is the other half that you speak of?
Cat.
Datapad?
Points to Para.
Artificial intelligence would be the more polite way of saying it, I believe.
Synthetic, yes.
That does raise some potentially interesting complications. They might not be as they were by the end.
GM, what are the odds that when I did Scriff's reading, since I haven't taken out that tarot deck still, what are the odds there's maybe some fur still in that tarot deck?
Ooh, interesting.
Trying to think, do we have any Nima's DNA, or can we get that?
She's all the way out with Vin. Yeah.
We'd have to go all the way to Castrovel.
Yeah. This is why we just need to have blood and stool samples of everybody on hand at all times.
All times.
Kodo, you're so handy.
Just have the stool sample. You never know when you're going to need it. Good God.
I do not like this change to our human resources policy. And I am a robot, so that is pretty bad.
You've been around the universe as much as I have. You just start collecting weird things.
This is the one you never know when you're going to need it in any universe.
We might need a DNA sample. Pawns just opens their coat. What are you looking for?
What are you buying?
Okay. Because that's an interesting one. Why don't you just give me a highs or lows? Heads or tails?
It's me, so I'm gonna go lows, because that's normally how I roll. So afraid to roll this.
So you pull out this deck of tarot cards that Scriff had drawn from what seems like months and months ago. And Narians looks over it. There is a scanner in the main room. Perhaps putting the card under that, you may have some luck.
Don't sneeze.
Velveteen bags attract for nothing else. 5e, and we'll kind of leave 5e
Yes,
with my Ronnie.
there are so many cat hairs on there.
I'm so glad Cargo doesn't have fur. And, we'll start walking towards the scanner, stop, and be like, would anyone like to do this that's not me?
Actually, Para will step forward, because Para is still embodying Scriff's body armor, right? Power armor, rather.
Yes.
If you're going to tell me that Scriff never bled into that thing, I doubt it.
I mean, but you strip everything.
Yeah, that's my
that is
concern.
true.
Is
They do
Para
clean everything up,
cleans
yeah.
literally everything
That's
they
true.
touch.
Damn.
You're like living scrubbing bubbles.
Yeah, you know what?
You
That's
are
true.
you are bleach personified.
That's definitely now. That's clean as a whistle. Fair enough. My bad.
If what you're wanting is fine tuning to be able to make a computer's check or something, 5e can assist you.
We have long established that Soul is horrendous at technology, so it's if I put this under the scanner, it's likely to just not work.
He's scientific enough.
It's gonna
he
give you an
can
error
probably
message.
Do the job. What sort of check is required to run these cards through the scanner, Adam?
I think a stick it in there and wait for something to happen check.
Sleight of hand?
Yeah, you guys don't need to roll for setting things on a scanner and pressing the
Okay.
go button.
Good, it's like a copier. That's good.
No, don't clone me.
Oh no, that's the 3D printer. So you put down the cards on the scanner, and it does a few passes of it, and it detects 2 sets of DNA. It detects both Tiefling and Yusoki.
Yusuke, not the tiefling. They've already got enough of that.
Well, it is scant. It seems that it may possess enough genetic code that we could use it to recombine the original structure. And while it is not ideal circumstances, we might be able to help the situation.
Cross-referencing the peptide markers with whiskers should help fill in the gaps as well.
A fair point. From seemingly out of nowhere, the syringe just comes out. If I could get a sample, I think that too, yes.
That's a big needle.
Let's see where Pons gets it from.
What exactly are you taking a sample for?
Just be a small prick.
Yeah, that's definitely Pons.
This will help my siblings.
As in all scientific endeavors, the more data you have, the better the potential outcomes.
You're not going to clone me? Okay, fine.
Can you imagine multiple whiskers running in the world?
There's like a little extra second of like them thinking about something.
The world can't handle two of me.
No, it could not.
Fifey looks over at Saul and says,
Unacceptable parameters.
And they stick the syringe in. And see, that's all it is. All there is to it. I'll just numb your pain receptors. It'll be fine.
The needle bends a little bit as it goes into...
Yeah, it takes an extra second. It has to like get through armored skin.
I just love all these extra noises.
Yes, well...
So great.
Take this, and there is a computer next to the chambers that can receive information. Take the data from the cards and this, and place it in the computer, and it will begin to at least decoding. As for the stricken child, I have some concerns. What removing these runes may do, as they seem to be activated. My assumption from what I'm seeing is that this will continue to funnel said energy towards the outcome of possible transformation. But if we were to disable these runes, as it now has a intrinsic connection to the boy, it may be that the battery is disconnected, possibly permanently.
Well, about a loop back? Rather than disabling the runes, what if we just routed it somewhere else? Somewhere more productive?
Such as back to its original source.
Exactly.
Alter them so that external forces cannot activate them.
1 second. I'm trying to figure out how a loop back would help.
So they have runes that you said it's like a battery, right? It's sending energy into this new activity. What if we just routed it back to its original destination? We could potentially wean off the unwanted destination slowly until it no longer is taking charge.
Interesting. Aside from myself and my clone, does anyone have experience with using or interacting with runes themselves?
Whisker slowly raises their hand. I've done construction on hybrid Amas. Requires lots of rune work.
Does Kodo have any mysticism that would be?
I do
involved with
have
runes?
mysticism. I got some mysticism.
I'm not entirely unfamiliar with not exactly this, but I could help.
My assumption is that this may indeed take some time and research required to do it. However, at this time, I think perhaps we should first search a way to stop the connection to these runes as is, disconnect this battery, and then prepare to loop it back. Otherwise, it will continue to affect them.
Soul will pause and look at 5e and say, after he wakes up, we can't make this decision for him. It's his body.
I agree. When the boy is conscious, we will explain it to him. He can make the choice.
I see. Very well. Then is there anything else anyone else that needs aid at the moment.
Swarkus needs healing.
You see Swarkus is kind of slumped up against the wall, and they just pick up one claw, they just kind of wave away. They're like, it seems that whatever's happened here is more concerning than a few scrapes. They have like massive gashes.
Yeah, Pons will
scrapes.
go over and heal him. I do have enough resolve points for that, if need be.
I am a fully trained medical assistant. With your permission, I could use the equipment here in the lab to treat the injuries of those who've been wounded while you attend to the research regarding the Ahsoki.
And just for reference and the viewers, there is 2 vats. I'm assuming those are vats that would be usable for some sort of cloning process or reversing it in that right-hand corner of the room.
Yes, in fact, one of them is the chamber that you were grown in.
Oh,
Perfect.
gosh.
Okay.
It's a homecoming.
Home sweet home.
So it's like when you get too big for your room and like you have to move your little brother's stuff in there.
Is my brain hammock right next to it where I sleep?
It's just like one of those nets that you see like avocados in the store. It's exactly that.
Yummy.
Oh, Soul's favorite hammock got destroyed with the second hand.
Yes, then I seems that there's some urgency here. So yes, I will. And they head over towards the computer that's attached to these cloning chambers.
Whisker snaps their head over to Soul and says, "We need to go send a communication to Vin, right?
Yes, she needs to know that Dervish is coming. They didn't get information from anyone else.
They're going to need to change course. We need to get up to the communications tower to send that message. Do you want to come? Happy to send it otherwise."
My Ronnie still looks like they're going to be out for a while, yeah?
Yeah, they're moving around a little bit, but they're not awake.
So yeah, Soul will kind of give their shoulder a little bit of a squeeze and then nod. Thank you, let's hurry. I know you want to get back to your siblings.
Let's go.
I will keep watch here.
So Pons is going to approach Mr. Business and, as much as possible, keep Nurians in the loop for this conversation
Okay.
as well. So you said I needed to make a choice, and I know either way it had a consequence. But how much do you know about what was happening here? If it's happened before, or you have seen this happen before, there must be another way to help the rest of the citizens of Akiton. It can't just be over and the radiation just running rampant in this planet. We're going to have to evacuate or do something about it.
I have seen this planet evacuated to the point in which there are no intelligent life forms. While it is a time-consuming and costly endeavor, it can be done. And they turn their head just a little bit to the side. Did you have other thoughts?
It's gotten, at least the radiation here has gotten so much worse, and I don't know, is there a cause? Is there a leak? Is there some sort of things that's happened? Or is this just the way things are going?
This planet has been moving towards its end for many centuries. However, there has been a recent acceleration. It is drastically more than I am used to seeing. What I can surmise from this is an event took place with such force that it affected the planet itself. Go ahead and give me a sense motive roll.
Okay. The 27. I feel like maybe the what's the faction that we were just working for?
Breathless?
The Breathless. Like the Breathless might have motivation to make things worse quicker in order to start a revolution. I don't know who else would.
Pawns, as you're talking to them, you see their eyes flit away from you for just a second, and judging by where people are in the room, their eyes move over Para.
What?
Uh-oh.
It's all Para's fault. But Para hasn't even been here, until now. They've been trapped in an ice cube.
But we don't know where the most ordained commander has been.
they've been trapped in the
They've
metadosis
been trapped in
system.
an ice cube.
Never mind.
Anyway,
That's okay.
yeah. So yeah,
All right.
They look over to them.
That's all they do? They don't. Did they
That's
give
it.
you a verbal
I mean,
answer?
That's it.
Yeah, I gave you one before they looked.
Okay, you're right. Yes. Am I the only person out of the loop here? Or is everyone else also not sure what that would mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like we might be getting into like butterfly wing
Mm.
territory.
It could be a timey-wimey thing, like Para just got here, but he's affecting the past.
Or this is the only reality in which a para manifests. That's what I was getting out of it.
Okay. All right. I'd like to try something.
Mark's shaking his head.
Are,
I just
are you able to hook me up into that machine?
And to what purpose would you do such a thing, Ponsnarians?
If I can make a connection, anything like what the dervish was able to control, then assuming I can gather some way to protect the citizens from any more damage to this radiation, I might need some help, but I'd like to at least try.
Since you had been looping Narians into the conversation, they interrupt. Pawns, I don't think that would be a wise decision. The things that have been done to that chamber, judging by the runes, would be dangerous.
Or talking about millions of lives, or what, one contemplative, and I think I have some sort of resistance to the Thastron as well, unless you're going to do it.
5E's going to interject himself into this conversation and ask Narians a question.
Were those runes not present when you went into the Sylann for treatment? Did you not commission them?
No, I was attempting to find means of using Thasteron in small doses. However, no, those runes are definitely the work of Professor Day.
Ah.
So as I was saying, Pawns, I cannot condone you getting into a chamber which has been tampered with these dark magics.
You're grounded.
I would send you back to your tube, but there's Yosoki in it.
God, Dad.
What are the potential negative effects of using the chamber with those runes in place? How did it change the process for you?
I do not remember much of what has happened recently, but these runes have some sort of amplifying effect. What dimensions they may amplify through, I do not know, as I have not seen these runes before, but it is ill-advised to do such a reckless thing.
You haven't met this group.
You haven't met Pawns.
He has, that's why he's forbidding it.
I remember when you were a young brain and you touched this rune near a fireplace.
God, that was the second time you did that?
He didn't learn his lesson the first
Of course he did this, Pawns!
First you don't succeed.
Do you think that fireplace ruin we encountered was only the second one he touched?
Ooh, a piece of candy.
Pons will
Candy.
have to collect himself for a second. Narians, I'm grateful for you protecting me and giving me the capabilities to do what we have done now. But I've held up my end of the bargain, and I had to sacrifice this city that I grew up in and this planet for it. That's not something that I can just walk away. If I have an opportunity to save them, then I'm going to at least try. I need someone who's going to be able to supervise it if something starts to go wrong. If you don't want to do that, then...
Why don't you go ahead and give me a diplomacy check?
Standing up to Dad.
33.
No, Dad, you're grounded.
I think Kodo will kind of like she's been in a big funk ever since the fight, and you can tell that just something is not right with her. But for like a few seconds, she kind of like takes her head out of her hands. She stands up and goes to Pawns and say, "If you need, I'll help you with whatever you need. But whenever we're finished here, I need to talk with everybody." And was it you needed a mysticism? Is that what it was?
Not yet. I just had Pawns do a diplomacy.
Okay. Yeah, she'll offer her help, but yeah, I want to talk with everyone once this is over.
Okay. So Narians is going to essentially focus their mind to speak with just you for a moment, Pawns. Pawns, it seems you have grown and changed much since we last spoke, and I am very proud of you for finding your way in the world, but the sacrifice that you're proposing to make, the knowledge that is in your mind alone could do great things. I'm loath to see it damaged in a heroic gesture. You can kind of feel that there's this conflict going on inside them. Like, they understand what you're trying to do, but there's also a little bit of, like, a twinge of selfishness that you feel. Like, they're a little more concerned about you than they are other people.
Mm-hmm.
But your words have had an impact, and it feels that their resolution to ground you is weakening.
Narians, things are changing. This entire galaxy could potentially be in danger, and we don't know what the future holds. If we can't save at least this city, and how are we going to protect everyone else that we care about? And how are we going to continue without at least doing what we can in the moment? I feel like I was quite literally made for this, so you need to at least let me try.
And go ahead and give me a second diplomacy roll.
That's just a 16.
It seems that in your time away, Pawns, you have drifted from what I imagined you were. This will only happen on the conditions that if I see that the levels are heading towards a lethal situation, I will pull you out.
It's like inside of Pons' mind is like, well, I don't really want to die, so that sounds reasonable. Do keep an eye on everything then. I feel like I had a note that I passed to someone earlier, and I'm trying to remember who it was and what it was.
You had passed that to Jasper.
Okay.
You had asked them what's going on with the Thesteron stuff, and they had responded to you that it was more than the normal levels, and they posited that maybe something like fissures had opened and some sort of well of Thesteron might have been opened.
Okay. I don't know why my mind went to that right then. Okay, yeah, no, Pons is pretty set.
If any of your friends wish to also look at the computer... What happened to the computers?
The dervish just, he went crazy. He broke them. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
Do sense motive.
What did you do?
Bluff 23.
Sense motive 29.
Can't let daddy.
As Pons' eyes dash back and forth, looking at them, looking back at Narians.
Anyways, yes, if anyone wishes to assist, that's fine. And they just look at you for a second, Pons.
If that's mechanical assistance being requested, 5e will step up to help.
Yes.
Okay.
I've got to tell Pons your left lobe just pulses just a little whenever you lie.
Any mystical assistance required?
Very well. Get in the containment chamber, Pons, if you're sure about this.
Pons just nods. I'm sure.
I'm not there, but what is Mr. Business looking like as all this is going on?
Eating some popcorn.
Right?
Ow.
You shouldn't, yeah.
But very slowly and creepily, so like just one piece at a time.
Oh, so
One
weird.
kernel.
So weird. What a weirdo.
Yeah, so the people in the room would notice that Mr. Business is watching with a fairly neutral expression, but there definitely seems to be some interest, like this is a circumstance that they're maybe not used to. All right, so Pons, you float back into the chamber. that you had gotten Narians out of only recently. And the hatch closes and spins back into place. Tell me exactly what you plan to do, Pons, so I can look out for difficulties.
I need to see if I can form a strong enough link to as many people on this planet as possible. So I might be able to give them part of my abilities.
Oh.
Yeah, Mr. Business had alluded to this in the finale.
I had postured that all of this was just an elaborate scheme for Adam to take Life Bubble away from Cooper.
Yes.
That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Yes, sneaky devil you.
I gotta go.
Don't do it.
Curses, foiled again.
Give them mind thrust, Pawns.
I'll get you next time, Gadget.
Exactly. Like I said, furious shriek.
Cat noise.
I give them tripartite beam, and they're just gonna start blasting fire, ice, and thunder everywhere. It's gonna be great.
I like it.
Very well, Pons. However, though yes, Thastron was used in your creation, and therefore you have some resistance to it, the doses that will be required to put you in such a state will not be without side effects.
You'll be giant. Now
Not
get
as
in the
much.
penis pump.
Is there another clone named Voss?
Stop it. Stop it.
Terrible.
Things I was not prepared to hear tonight. Get in the penis pump.
I'm gonna keep this moving, guys. I'm gonna keep this moving.
No time to explain. Get in the penis pump.
Yeah, no.
God damn
Let
it.
me drink something in peace.
Get in, losers. We're going penis pumping.
This is perfect. Come
No.
on. I mean, what did you expect after all this time? It wasn't anything coherent.
Oh, God's above.
All right, pause. Get in the penis pump. Let's do this.
Penis
All
pump.
right, yeah, Hans
Penis
goes
pump.
in there.
Well, then, if everyone who's going to assist with this experiment, please find a station to man or at least observe so you might point out any potential issues. So, if anyone would like to roll to assist, you can give me either a mysticism, computers, or life science.
Computers.
Mysticism.
5e's contribution is a 33 computers check.
Koto's contribution is a 32 mysticism check.
Hot.
Y'all need to roll better.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Okay. Is anyone else in there?
I'm gone.
Pan, what you doing?
I can aid as well, I guess, but I felt like there were too many people, too many cooks.
I felt like you haven't got to do anything yet, so.
I'm okay.
A pity roll.
Yeah, just affecting
You're in the room.
fucking space-time continuum is nothing.
Roll participation.
You don't have to. I'm just asking if you wanted to.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I got it.
You're watching over my Ronnie while 5e is taken to the computers.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can do that. Sure.
Yeah, put that roll away. You don't get to
Okay.
do stuff
All
now.
right.
Yeah, get out of
We
here.
changed our minds.
We don't want your help.
All right, then, Cooper, if you would please give me a mysticism check.
All right. Let's see here. It's a 27.
Hey.
And is that with a +4?
No.
From assist?
do I- Oh, so no, then that's a 31.
Hey.
with assists.
As the process begins, from the bottom of this chamber come up these syringes that are heading straight towards you. And as they come in contact with your brain, you feel a numbing effect.
Wait, no, stop. Just kidding.
I wish I could stop the GM.
No, tell me those were needles.
I changed my mind.
As a greenish liquid begins to pump through tubes up towards you. And as it reaches you, you feel, in a way, not unlike what happened when you were pulled into the dreamscape, there is this torrential pain inside your head as you feel something like an expansion of your mental facilities that begin to radiate, and you begin to lose consciousness of what is happening around you as all the feelings of people in this room begin to flood into you. And then beyond that, you feel even Whisker and Soul in the corridor. You begin to feel even beyond that until you feel parts of the city, and it continues to grow as this liquid pours into you. And tell me exactly what you want to do in this moment as you feel a connection begin to grow to the entire planet. Everyone who has been affected by Thasteron begins to connect to your neural network. What do you do, Pawns?
So, Adam, would I be able to manifest a ethereal version and kind of see the people of Akiton? Like, can I actually move around?
Interesting.
He wants to address his subjects.
And what was your total roll again?
31.
31.
I could see Pawns basically wanting to go and fly around in an ethereal body, which he has an ability that actually would allow him to do that, and go and individually physically touch every single person that he can.
You want to appear like a ghost before everyone who's been affected by Thasteron, so you can reach out and, I'm assuming, do a touch spell.
Yes. That's the visual representation of what is going on in the sense of what Pawns would like to do.
Here we go.
If that's actually what happens, that's up to you, but kind of like Santa.
Ghost Santa.
Just creepier.
Yeah, you know the old fairy tale of Santa, just projecting.
Just terrifying the whole planet.
How is that like Santa?
Invades people's personal space and gives them a gift.
Go ahead and give me a will save.
29.
As you begin to try to split your consciousness to affect everyone who has been affected on this planet, which is millions of people, it creates this pulling effect inside your mind, and it feels like you are being ripped apart at the seams. But somehow, you manage to hold together. This is not something that will last very long, so you must be quick. This is not a speech to the people. This is you pop in, do something, and go.
And as he looks at these people, he is reminded of the Second Hand's arrival back on this planet and how we dealt with the sandstorms, and riding on the train to the inner city, we saw how the radiation and the sands have just been permeating everything and everyone. So he's going to reach out and lay a hand on the shoulder of each citizen, and he is going to cast Life Bubble on them.
So as you reach out to all of these people, you begin casting Life Bubble. And since you had been stretched to your limit at this point, as this energy transfers, you begin to see the people that you're touching, millions of people all at once. You see them begin to glow. And as Mr. Business had said, if people are connected through what was formerly Narian's, now is you, to this generator, then they might in fact learn this spell inherently as a spell-like ability. So you cast it.
So cool.
And as you do, you feel all of the energy within you just ripped away, pulled out of you, as this spell is removed from your abilities, as you gift it to everyone else on the planet.
All right.
Nice.
Oof.
That's cool. I like that.
As this happens, go ahead and give me another will save.
14.
And then he died.
So as you cast this spell, you begin to feel your consciousness pull back. And instead of a gentle return to your form, it feels more like you are being flung back from all directions until you smash back together into the one brain that is Pawns as you go unconscious. From the outside, you saw these injectors go up and press into pawns, you saw them begin to essentially inflate as their veins began to pop out and their brain grew much as Narian's had. After a few short moments, the monitors on the computers begin going wild as if Pons is about to redline. And then after just a second of that happening, before anyone can react, it flicks back down. And while it does not return to normal levels by any means, it is still in a heightened state. It is very clear that Pons has lost consciousness. And Narian's immediately is like, turn it off now!
All right. 5e will disengage the machinery.
As Narian's goes and tries to pull Pons out of the chamber. And we're going to cut over to Soul and Whisker. So, Soul and Whisker, I imagine you guys are taking the tube system to rocket yourself back towards this tower, correct?
Correct.
Okay, both of you give me a perception check.
34.
24.
All right. As you guys are rocketing through these pneumatic tubes, they are made of this transparent aluminum. And as you get closer to this tower, you can see that where the second hand had alighted, you recognize Jasper's vehicle. So, as you guys get to this communication tower, you head through the large doors, and you indeed find a man covered from head to toe with a mask, and they seem to be standing over the console that you guys had interacted with when Whisker had set the guns upon the whole city.
Soul immediately, almost stumbles, takes a very strange stance. It's Jasper! And just watches for reaction.
Ah, so, there you are. And they look over at Whisker as well. Well, it seems like you guys managed to complete your objective with, gusto.
Soul strides across the room as fast as they can, walks up, both hands come up, and shove Jasper as hard as they can.
Oi!
What was the deal you made with him? And just gets up in his face. On their tippy toes, because that's annoying, they can't hover anymore.
Gets up in their chest level.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Shoves again. The dervish. What deal did you make with him?
So they take a moment and stand there and look at you. I see. So, I'm gonna lay things out for you real quick here. When I got to this planet, we got stuck here, as I believe I mentioned to you, and I tried to push for some sort of greater change here. But higher-ups had no intention of letting that happen, so I had to begin to look for resources. I had to look for someone who could bring weapons to the people here. How was I supposed to know that he was your mortal enemy or something?
I'm not worried about that, Jasper. What was the deal you made? Are you paid in full?
The exchange was what credits I could manage and assistance in whatever dealings they had, but no, I don't believe that I'm in the pocket of someone, Soul.
Soul is, again, they see fury in Soul's face, and they shove him again, but this time, grab the lapels and just kind of drop their forehead against his chest. You don't know what deals with this person entail, and I have no doubt he's going to come and ask more of you. And when he does, you have to tell us. I don't know that I can protect you from this, Jasper, but I'll try.
I mean, everything that happened between myself and them seemed to be a very mutual exchange, so I'm not sure they have any sway over me at this point, especially now that, as you see and as you have helped with, the revolution seems to be a resounding success.
I'm very happy for you, but your revolution doesn't mean shit in the grand scheme of things of what's going on.
Now I think it's time for me to ask you what the hell is going on.
Not too long ago I would have had a good answer for you, but apparently, intergalactic war destruction, I don't know. It's not good. Gods are involved. I f***ing hate gods. We need to contact a friend. You should come with us, we'll catch you up.
Hold on. I've been poring over the data on this console of what all of you did when you came up here, turning on the guns and all that. And I found that these ships have left the planet. And I, myself, have not seen a goddamn template since I got up here.
That's because they left on the ships.
Rats abandoning a sinking ship.
The planet's yours. Congratulations.
You see that the filter on their mask begins to pump heavier. The ships that were leaving this planet weren't just some civilians. Most of them were Infernex. And the only way to evacuate that many people would to be if they were on Infernex ships as well. So are you telling me that... Is this dervish involved with the war that you're talking about?
Yes. We were played. You were played. He wanted this to happen.
So this whole revolution was just some sort of scheme to get the contemplatives off this planet?
Welcome to dealing with the rich and powerful. If it's any comfort, I know exactly how you feel.
And Jasper just sits down on the ground, and you see, like, all of the energy that was in them just dissipates instantly. How? I vetted this guy. I went searching for someone. They didn't come searching for me. How could this happen?
Who did you vet?
The dervish. He's some mid-level enforcer out of Absalom.
We're going to need that information, but first, Jasper, you worked very hard for this victory, and you should hang on to it. We need that information, but right now we have to make a call. Whisker.
So they knew that we were after the dervish, and they knew that they were in bed with him, and they didn't tell us.
Mm-hmm.
So Jasper just sits down on the ground. They take off the goggle parts of their mask, and they just put their hands to their head.
No. You stand back up. You have a planet to run. You don't get to rest anymore. Come on, Soul. Let's go call Vin.
Whisker's right. The hard part's just beginning. Congratulations. And my condolences. And we'll pat his shoulder.
FIFA La Revolution.
So you guys head over to the communications computer.
I mean, I feel like we've just stepped right up beside Jasper. Like...
Yeah, he's about 2 feet away. So you call out to Vin Harkion once again. This is the SS Sun Siren.
This is Sol again. Vin, please. Smiles, though no one can see.
One moment, please. You hear the click. Sol, I believe I had only just spoken to you. Please tell me that nothing else has happened. Please.
Well...
You need to change course right away.
That.
The dervish knows where you're headed. They're planning to intercept you.
Tell me how you believe that such a thing is possible.
Well, we sort of dealt with a god, and there was being inside of people's minds, and we saw Nima. Please, change your course if you'd like to live. I would rather like you to live.
The eldest Dovetail came to me in something of a panic, telling me they had something like a dream in which they saw what you have described as the dervish, and they told me something very similar, so I am inclined to believe you. I just wanted to confirm.
She remembers that. Soul beside you, Whisker, goes very pale, like they're gray, and they just turn a lighter shade of gray. Have you contacted the Gemelli? Have you heard from them?
I began to send out feelers to see if I might find them. I have not yet done so, but I'm sure I will soon enough.
And now it's Soul's turn to sink down to the ground and sit next to the console.
Do you have any clues? Maybe we can help.
When last I spoke with them, which was some months ago, I believe I mentioned to you that I had had a visit by 2 Solarians. It was, in fact, both Ethel and Asha. However, as they are Solarians, they do not often tell where they are going, though I got the impression that they were not off on a long journey, as they did not look for supplies or anything of that when we contacted one another. More than that, I have no idea. I am searching out now.
Thank you for trying, and for the information.
Whisker turns to Soul and says, I know you're not going to like this, but the best thing might be to contact the Cos Monastery directly and see if they can patch us in. How important is it to you that we contact them?
I don't want them to end up in one of those tanks. Sol will pull out their personal data pad and hand it over to Whisker. I deleted all the information off this ages ago. I don't know if you can find it somehow, but if not, then yes, the monastery. Oh, God. I don't know that they'll even speak to me.
Is this something that I can try to roll for?
Sure. Yeah.
What's the roll? Computers or engineering?
Go ahead and do computers for me, if you would.
That's a 31.
I really got to reassess my DCs.
Right?
14 on the die.
Yeah, I don't know why I ask anymore.
I mean, if it helps you assess, like, this information, like, that contact information was deleted, like, 10 years ago. But Sol also does not upgrade their devices, at least.
Except it was upgraded when you guys got on the planet.
So if it doesn't work, I'm not upset.
Yeah, so are you looking for contact information for the Jamili or for the Cos Monastery?
Well, I think that the Cos Monastery would be pretty easy to contact. They're on, they're, what is it, on the Adari or on Absalom Station? I can't remember. I think there's one on both.
Yeah, there might be some other ones around here.
That's kind of the fallback. This would be to try and find some kind of contact information that Sol had from their past.
So, Whisker, somewhere buried deep down in the ancient RAM, you find some contact information that seems like it's promising.
I have consulted the ancient RAM, and he says that the number is here.
There's a RAM in my phone.
I've consulted the ancient RAM.
Sol will look at their device and look at Whisker, and there's gratitude in their eyes, but also a great deal of fear. Nima said she remembered. Means they probably remember too. And they will send a very quick, short, the equivalent of a text message? Question mark. Ethel, Ossa, it's been a while, things are complicated. Infernex is targeting you. Please don't trust any private security. Be safe. And I'll hit send and just drop the phone. Just let it fall to the ground.
Okay. Do you have anything else for Vin, who is still on the line?
So we'll just say, thank you, that was very useful information. Vin, please be safe.
It seems to be getting harder and harder to do at this time, but I will do my level best. Take care of yourself, Sol.
We'll be in contact again soon. We've got more to share, just more irons in the fire at the moment. Tell Nima there's hope.
I will. And the line cuts.
Sol's still on the ground, looks over at Jasper. So would you like to come meet the rest of the group?
Where are you located? I need to start making communications from here, and then I will find my way there.
Interactive Evolutions Institution? That's not right. Whisker.
Adaptive Evolutions Incorporated.
It's the tallest building here. You can't miss it. We have a dragon.
I'm very happy
That'll
for
seal the
you.
deal.
It's not as impressive as you think it is.
And they get up and they start looking at the console.
Jasper, we'll talk more about this later, but remember, you've spent however long building up an us versus them for this revolution. Just remember that any contemplative that remains on this planet is now part of your us.
I will keep that in mind.
Sol will affectionately punch them in the arm and start heading back.
Okay. Back in Narian's lab. Narian's has pulled pawns out of the chamber as Myrani begins to stir.
5e's also there, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then Power will call to 5e. Say, for 5e, it seems irony is awakening.
5e turns his attention away from the console surrounding the containment chamber that Pond stepped into and comes back over to where Pora and Marani are.
Can you hear me?
Barely over the ringing.
To be expected. A severe concussion.
What's happening? Where are we?
We are in Nirian's laboratory. There is a possibility that we may be able to redirect the flow of energy that those runes on your skin are creating. We are not certain what the side effects will be, but it could be your best shot at shutting down the process. I will not authorize any treatment without your approval.
As you speak to them, their eyes begin to fully open, and you see this sudden look of concern. I remember what was happening. The ship, that creature that was attacking us, and they begin to shake. I remember him grabbing me. He said something, and you see tears begin to well at the corners of their eyes.
It is all right, my Ronnie. You are safe now. We may have a solution. And Power looks at 5e.
They said that there's a monster inside of me, and it was time to open the cage, and whatever it is it the runes or is it me?
I don't have a well-defined answer to that question. But you are not a monster. You are like any other person, a wellspring of potential. You just have a different sort of potential inside you than most. I don't understand these things very well. Koto, or perhaps Whisker, even Soul. They can answer your questions about the mystical aspects of it. I just want you to be safe.
I don't even know if there is a safe place anymore. Whatever these runes are doing, if they can be fixed, I don't care anymore. Fine.
Then I will ask Nerians to begin the treatment. We will monitor you. If we see any indication that your vital signs are flagging, we'll abort the process.
So, having this conversation, Nerians is tending more to pawns than anyone else, but they say, if we were to do an operation at this very moment without having proper knowledge on what these runes may or may not do, it would be most likely detrimental. So if you would please allow me a short while, if nothing else, to research, it would be wise.
Are you suggesting that we leave the boy here on Akiton, where the dervish knows his whereabouts?
No, goodness, no. There's a lot happening at this moment, including my clone not being conscious. Just a day, something, just please.
Very well. I will see to it that Marani is rested and in good condition for a surgical procedure. Tend to ponds.
And then 5e turns back to the boy and says,
In the meantime, if you can stand up, let's go get you something to eat.
They just nod, slowly get to their feet, and start walking with you. So, shortly thereafter, both Soul and Whisker return. I imagine you guys tell them what transpired.
Yeah. And that's what you missed on Glee.
And that's everything that happened.
So you guys come back and let the others know what happened with Vin and with Jasper. And you see Myrani has awoken and that Nerians is kneeling over Pawns, if you can consider floating, kneeling.
Floating over.
And they reach down and put their little hands on top of Pawns as they cast Restoration on you, Pawns.
Nice.
Oh, we know what lovely is now. All right.
As they begin to purge the excess Thasteron from your body.
Nice.
Ooh.
As you two return to consciousness.
Yeah, Pond's tiny, almost invisible eyes blink a couple times looking around. How terrible do I feel right now, Adam?
So awful, I'm gonna need another will save.
Oh. You want it to be a will or like a... All right.
Negotiation.
I love it. Like,
30.
give me a will save. Actually, I don't mean fortitude.
All right, your head is throbbing, so I guess that means your whole brain is throbbing.
Yep. Most of my entirety is throbbing.
90% of you.
That doesn't sound right when you say it like that.
I was trying to avoid any more of that.
As you come to and you begin to take stock of yourself, I will tell you that what you did in that chamber has had some negative effects on you based on the will saves that you just gave me.
Okay. Did it
So
work?
if you would do me a favor and roll 2d6s.
All right. 3 and 3.
Go ahead and roll one of those again.
6.
Okay. So you feel that having gone through this much stress, your mind has been in some way damaged. And you feel that as it was partially used when you were doing this process, that your mind link has been affected.
Oh, that was a cool ability.
So it can still be used. You're going to now be limited to using this 1d2 times per long rest, which you'll roll every time you wake up. And when you go to use it, it's going to require a raw d20 roll. And whatever the number is on that roll will determine how effectively you transfer information.
Oh, so it's going to have like an even worse Pawns narrative behind the mind link information?
Potentially, yes.
Wow.
Oh my god.
That's
There's like 2 telephone
actually
stops.
kind of awesome. Yeah.
Extra Ponzi.
Super Ponzi.
Ponzi.
And the other one is that your mind-affecting spells,
Oh, no.
the DC for them has been
Okay.
lowered by 2.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's awful.
All right. At least I still have them.
Now, the mind is a plastic thing, so potentially you might be able to reform the neural connections that have been damaged during this process. But
All right.
if you can do that, is up to you.
Yeah, is Pawns aware of these changes immediately? And does he know if his attempt actually worked?
You remember what happened in the chamber, and it would lead you to believe that it worked, but literally no one in this room has been affected by Thastron quite the way as everyone else out there.
Okay, so I would not have given them life bubble, unfortunately.
Not all of the people here, no.
I really wanted to ask Jasper
all
if he
of
could
the
cast
people?
it, but I didn't know, so I couldn't.
Hold on, who's here?
Yeah, so that's actually a perfect segue into what I want to say. So everyone is now in this room, and a lot of the bigger things that I felt we need to take care of have been. So you have like a little room here. Obviously, you guys mentioned talking to Mr. Business. So if you have stuff, absolutely throw it in right here.
Soul has already gotten themselves a little riled up talking to Jasper. So I think Soul comes back in and sees 5e with Myrani and immediately rushes over. It's like, Myrani, I'm so sorry I wasn't here when you were awake. Are you all right?
No.
That's fair.
That's clearly
Heard.
my eye.
There is
Heard.
no way I could be all right after all of this.
Seriously.
Allow me to revise. Are you physically hurt? Are you being... Looks at 5e. Have you been taken care of?
To whatever extent that can be done. And they just lift up their arms with these glowing runes.
Yes, we had a... Stops, look at 5e. I assume you told...
Yes, I have explained the situation to him. He has assented to treatment, but Nerians needs time. So in the meanwhile, we're going to see to it that he is properly fed, and has good nutrients, and very strong vitals, so that we know that any surgical procedures will be done safely.
We'll be all right. We're going to talk. We're going to figure this out. What the hell happened to Pawns?
I'm okay. I think it actually worked.
I was going to ask if you thought you'd been successful in your endeavor.
What worked?
Pawns goes over to Mr. Business. Can I get a sense that he was affected by radiation?
He does not appear to be.
All right, gonna keep wandering around looking at everyone.
And seeing
Anyone else in
that,
this area?
seeing that, like, Soul locks onto Mr. Business. It's like, aha, I forgot about that.
Wait a second. Our lizard friend. He most certainly has, to some degree.
Lizard friend?
I mean, this is a different kind of
It
radiation.
is.
Yeah.
That it is. Is there anyone else that's been affected by Thastron in this area?
Narians, but...
Yeah, okay. Pawns will kind of run around looking for someone on this planet that might have been affected. Is there any windows?
The whole area is pretty much window.
All right. He's going to look down.
You see a storm.
Who are you looking for?
I gotta find out if it actually worked.
What worked?
Okay, I don't feel good. It's kind of getting dizzy.
Float down, pawns, and rest. You've done a very stressful and foolish thing. Please, just...
Basically, I tried to connect to the whole planet and, give them a little part of myself.
You mean like how Nereans and the dervish were in our heads and reached out to Nima and Epilogue?
Yeah, similar principle there. I feel it's around this time the pawn starts thinking about, like, I don't know if... And he's going to kind of mess around with some of his abilities since he doesn't see anyone else that had been affected by Fasteron in the premises. But he'll sit and he'll kind of rest. Yeah, similar to that. And he'll try to say that all telepathically.
Okay.
And after kind of checking that some things work, he's like, okay, Nurians, I think it went well.
Well, maybe subjective, pawns. I'm feeling some discrepancies in your mind, and I'm rather concerned.
Well, maybe I'll rest for a little bit. I'd like to help out with any other plans or research that needs to get done, though. So just give me a couple minutes and give me something to do.
You see Whisker drop a whole bunch of research notes in front of him. Here you go. Have fun. I guess stack taller than his brain.
Pawns, once you have had a few moments, you can join me in the research for either the Yosoki situation or the runes situation. But for now, please take a moment.
Okay. Yeah, and Pawns will rest for 10.
Okay.
Seeing that this is winding down, Pawns is taking care of. Soul has just locked onto Mr. Business and strides across the room. How tall is he? 'Cause last we saw him, he was like sitting down and tied up.
He was sitting down. About 6 foot.
Soul strides up, just a little too close. Not as aggressive as they normally would be, though. Kind of looks him up and down. You're attractive, tall, and interesting. I like all of those things. Maybe a god, don't like that. Put my friends in harm's way, don't like that. As charming as you are, what's your name? What do we even call you?
The moniker that I have adapted is Mr. Business. And they adjust their tie.
Yes.
Really?
Thanks.
I found that it was widely understood and accepted immediately.
So what do we have to do to get a real name?
Case face.
I don't like working with monikers.
The original name I have is long since lost to time.
And we probably wouldn't be able to pronounce it even if we did. What exactly are you?
I, at this point, would not know. What I am is, in some ways, not unlike... And they look over at Koto.
Ruh-roh.
What did you do?
Just sulking. I don't know what's going on.
I found that I had the capability of moving to different universes, only to find that there was a force attempting to conquer all of them. And I have been moving from universe to universe, trying to find the best situation to combat this problem.
In all of your travels, what have you found?
There are many nexus points in which universes diverge. They are not at every moment, but they are at consequential moments. I've found that one of them revolved around a situation where a ship began to move into the drift, only to find themselves shunted into a pocket dimension, and that those who were involved in that event may play a part.
Let me ask you, Mr. Business, she does like air quotes as she says that. Mr. Business, are you able to control your shifts between these universes?
I mean, figure out the proper business way to say this. I have found it within my capabilities. Yes.
She kind of has a loss for words. And if anybody wants to step in, feel free to do so.
What exactly causes a shift? Is there a scientific explanation? Or is it purely magical? And if so, can we channel it somehow?
My travels have told me that this is an ability inherent to a select few. Those who can do such things are extraordinarily rare in that when one is born into a universe, there is no other that is born. So running across one is fortuitous, but mysterious.
Does this mean that there's another person in this universe who can shift, since Koto is not from our universe?
And neither is Mr. Business.
Correct.
Possibly, but as I said, they are rare. And if you were to go to the home of this Strix, you would not find another like them. But insofar as channeling this power, it can be done, as I am proof.
Mr. Business, you say that you're trying to stop this threat as well across the multiverse?
Yes, it is a situation that, if allowed to come to pass in all universes, will be locked into place in history.
If you achieve the results that you desire in this model, is there a way for you to apply those results to the other universal models in which you've observed this phenomenon?
The situation I have witnessed here gives me some hope to that regards, as events have not transpired similarly elsewhere. I have begun to reason as to why that is, and the only possible potential, and their eyes once again move to Para, is that a being has begun to interfere, one outside understanding.
So you've been trying to stop the Most Ordained Commander. In all of your travels, have you met a being like Para?
In all of my time, in all of the many lives I have had to lead, I have found nothing like this. And their eyes are laser focused on Para right now.
Para seems like they're in as close to a low power mode as they can. Either they are willfully ignoring this, or they are doing something internally.
They are pretty special. So tell me, Mr. Business. We've been stumbling through all this, doing our best. I feel like I've been outplayed, outgunned, and manipulated every step of the way. Any chance you'd be willing to share your information now that the time of deviation has, whatever that was? Will you teach us? I, for one, want to learn.
Whatever knowledge I can impart must be taken with some skepticism. The events of this universe, as I said, have begun to deviate, and I think it will continue exponentially. As for helping on a individual level, I am open to the concept.
Koto will step forward after hearing that and say, there is no way for me to know if I've been attempting to stop the same force that you have for as long as you have, but with two of us having this ability to travel between universes, with Para being something you've never seen in any dimension you've been in, I think that this is too good of an opportunity for us to pass up. If you are willing to do so, I would humbly ask that you help teach me to control my powers so that I can stay here and give this universe as much of a fighting chance as it possibly can.
They look you over, and then they look around towards everybody else. I am willing to do that which is necessary to stop this Sylann invasion, but I am concerned that another entity is present in the equation.
Soul looks around the room.
Are you referring to Parallaxis?
If that is the name of the creature that sits before me now.
That is Para, and they are not a creature.
Affirmative. Para is distinct from Parallaxis.
Then perhaps they would care to explain.
Para, is the most ordained commander related to you somehow? I heard them call you brother?
And Mr.
Power-
Business goes over and hits the power button to turn you back on.
No, Para's, at being like directly addressed, Para's eyes open again, wide and green on their otherwise featureless, oily black surface. And they take a long look at the crew and at Mr. Business. They look around at Nerians and the Isoki and all that this has brought, and they say, I am not sure what it means. I do not know if I am Para, the stranger, or Parallaxis, the god being. I do not know if I am related to this most ordained commander. I have no place. For if what your Mr. Business says is true, I have only this timeline, this place. It would appear that I remain as much an enigma to the universe as when you first met me, and so unknown, unsure.
You certainly have a place, and it's with us if you want it.
This is appreciated, Sol. I am fond of the crew.
Speaking of the crew, are there further questions for Mr. Business at present?
I'd like to know if Mr. Business can tell us anything about how to track down the dervish.
Have a name, we can track Myroni's money as well.
It'd be nice to be able to take the fight to him for a change, rather than following on his footsteps.
I have not had great success in finding the whereabouts of this most agitating individual, as it seems to be different in every universe I travel, but I will, as always, begin to look again.
What do you know about him? Do you know if he can jump bodies? Can he possess more than one? Do you know the mechanics of that?
To my understanding, they are one entity which moves between. I have not borne witness to the control of multiples, though it may be possible, as unfortunate as that would be.
I think we have some crew business to attend to, briefly. Perhaps we could all assemble in the medical center for a bit.
Very quickly, I won't. It's not the time or the place, but it's weighing on my... I assume it wasn't just Whisker who eavesdropped on my conversation with Jasper a while back. Kind of gives a little bit of the stink eye to everyone.
Whisker grins.
Hans raises his hand.
In many versions, they have listened.
Oh, aren't you just a barrel of sunshine? Thank you.
Wow.
Whisker's comm unit was open
So
the entire
weird.
time. What was I supposed to do? Shut down my auditory sensors? I was on watch.
So once we're all in the medical center, 5e closes the door, makes sure that Swarkus and Myrani are nearby, and then turns to Koto and says,
You said you had something you wanted to talk to all of us about. I thought it good to create a moment for you to do that.
Kind of goes hand in hand with what I just asked Mr. Business. I have now lost in 2 universes, and I am not at a point in my abilities and in my skills where I feel like I am an asset to this team. I wanted to take some time and go into training to get my skills up, to get my abilities more powerful. And with the opportunity of Mr. Business, I feel like this is a golden opportunity laid out in front of me.
Let me stop you right there. You haven't lost in 2 universes yet. We are not defeated, merely a setback. But I agree, this is a great opportunity for you to hone your skills.
I think then, even through all this time, who's the captain on this of our little group?
Everyone kind of looks around.
You're right.
I imagine. Shrug.
It seems to me
I was told that it was kind of an everybody together thing.
We're more of an autonomous collective.
it has evolved into an ever-growing democratic process.
We each have our skills and usefulness.
Well then, everybody, if you would permit me, I would ask for a temporary leave of absence while I focus on getting my strength, my mind, and my soul ready for the coming encounter. This is not goodbye. This is just, I need time to prove to myself that I will be able to do this. And I know none of you have ever made me feel like I don't belong, but I do have this need to prove to you that I can be an asset to this group, especially if we're going to take on something as terribly powerful and with such dire consequences as the Sylann Empire.
I was rather hoping to ask you to train me some, but it's an opportunity. You can't possibly pass it up, can you?
Agreed. Come find me when you've got some technique under your belt for that, because I have some ideas. That ability would prove quite useful.
I'm looking forward to it.
For the record, I think you've been a great asset to the group. Not that I speak for anyone here, but...
I think she'll give Soul like a curt little nod to that, and then we'll go over to Para and say, take care of them, will you? Make sure that I have a team to come back to.
Of course. And here. And Pa's going to reach into their own chest and pull out a large black marble. And they'll take Koto's hand and place it into the hand.
This is really gross. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, it's great. It's also slimy. It is really gross. The black marble is still oily. They'll place it in your hand and say, if you need me, hold on to this.
Thank you.
You have given me a lot to think about, Koto. I am grateful.
What we are about to face is going to be the biggest challenge of my life, possibly all of our lives. So I just want to make sure that I give myself, the rest of this team, and this universe the best chance it has. Pons is here too, right?
Yeah. I'm kind of waking up from a nap.
Yeah. Okay.
And as you're saying this, Coda, Pons will chime in. I don't know what everyone else is really planning, but the city's a mess, the lab's a mess, and I don't think we're a whole lot closer to figuring out how to stop the dervish. Looking over at Nurians, but we probably have some cleanup to do, and I'd like to be here to help out, at least for a little while, as we're getting some research done as well.
I need some time to secure my Ronnie's safety. Depending on the outcome of the procedure that Nerians is proposing, I'm going to need to see if I can lock down resources to take care of the boy. I may be able to backward engineer some of the records that Nerians has of Professor Day and see if we can lock him out of his finances. Perhaps we could liquidate the property on Quinessa to create a trust fund of some sort. But I need to find a place where my Ronnie is safe and away from this conflict. He deserves more than a lifetime of war, and I can be of more use to this group if I am not the primary parental unit.
That kid has had a very, very tough life.
And my Ronnie listens to 5e and the others talk about their future with their set of triple eyes fixed on the ground. After the second hand crashed when that thing attacked me, everything went black. The next thing I remember was waking up in this room. So obviously we escaped, but I don't see everyone here. I don't see Taye.
Oh,
Where are they?
Taye. He didn't make it.
He has returned to Star Stuff.
Apologies for not mentioning this sooner, by the way.
Wait, like he's still on the first floor? Or
Oh god.
He's gone, Pons.
Tae did not survive the conflict with this Archduke Skarn.
Skarn.
oh.
Whisker, like, wheels start turning in their head at the mention of Skarn. Their mind drifts away from the conversation.
I need to tell Jasper that as well. He died for his cause, as nobly and heroically as anyone could. Threw your flyer in his face, Pons.
Tae bought us precious moments to escape unscathed and continue fighting.
Myrani's head lifts towards the translucent ceiling in a morbid silence.
I really enjoyed teasing him. Wanted to see if Jasper would let us steal him.
Well, this is all very, dire. I think it's time that I say something as well.
Uh-oh.
I'm retiring.
I will never retire.
How dare you!
Remember his speech to the
I
dervish?
love
There's no way he's
fighting.
retiring after that.
All of you saw what happened when the dervish contacted the ship through means of the Yosoki. There was a threat leveled against the entirety of the Vesperium, and I think it only fair that I go and respond in kind. I think, for now, I should go and reconnect with my people to do that which I can against this Sylann threat.
If the Vesperium can be made to understand the nature of the threat, they may be willing to throw in with the IDF and the other forces from the Pact Worlds.
That would certainly improve our numbers.
Yes, I am quite concerned that other Vesks are as hard-headed as me, and will loathe to believe that another force could threaten them.
No Vesk is as hot-headed as you.
They reach up and they bang on like a metal plate. But when the time arrives, I will return to face down the Sylann with my comrades in arms.
That name you all heard, that I gave Jasper. Precious few people know it. I won't go into it now, it's not the time, but please don't use it. Don't even write it down.
5e turns his faceplate directly towards Saul and gives a very exaggerated blink of his LEDs and says,
What's name?
Very heavy sigh. Solgenaire.
I think it was being,
No,
Yeah, it was.
I mean, what name? Exaggerated blink.
Apologies. We'll correct then. Sol will nod gratefully and kind of look a bit awkward. Right then.
Para shakes themselves out of their funk they've been in, and they turn to the group and say, I believe I may also take some time. I have too many questions that I cannot answer. I do not wish to be seen as apart from this world. If it is the only one that I, and they look at Mr. Business, am in, I would discover what is outside. And they reach into the chest again and bring out another oily marble, and they place it in Sol's hand. Very gross, very oily.
Yummy.
Sol's rather used to it. Kind of rolls it around in their palm.
Not the first time this has happened.
Yeah,
It's true. it's
Nor
true,
will it be
yeah.
the less.
God's willing.
I will be close, but not too close. Like Koto, if you need me, this will guide me back.
Sol's quiet for a moment and kind of swallows thickly, closes their hand around it. Says, I'm really not good at being alone, you know. Better be honest about that.
You are not alone. They close their hands over Sol's hands with the marble and gesture to the rest of the crew.
Yes, but they're all scattering too, aren't they? And, they glare, but their heart isn't in it. You can see that, they're trying very hard not to show an emotion under it all.
It is not about physical proximity. It's about proximity here, and they touch Sol's forehead, and here, and they touch Sol's heart. I will not be far. Power turns to the others. It has been an honor, and I will remain honored as I remain a part of the crew. You are all more special than you know.
As heartfelt as all of this is, I must point out that the second hand was destroyed. So unless we find some other way to get off planet, that might be difficult.
Oh, I have two options. I don't think Jasper's going to have ships to spare. Oh, gods, I'm going to have to sign up for the IDF if I get Vin to send us a ship, aren't I? Gods, I've avoided it until now.
I've heard worse ideas than that, actually.
Maybe we should all sign up.
Combining forces with Van Harken and the IDF would give us a chance at striking at the heart of the Sylann.
Wait, you all want to sign up?
Why not? It would give me access to my siblings.
Yeah, my initial plan was to become president of Nawai, but that's a close second of my goals.
Jasper has like almost a heart attack in the other room.
From the relief.
He did say he would give me a ship.
If we join forces with the IDF, we can finally begin the process of seeking justice for those wronged. Like Taye.
Oh, gods. Well, with the
Yes.
IDF, it might give me enough legitimacy to maybe contact the monastery, which might be a good place for our friend, and nods to my Ronnie.
I am willing to entertain the possibility if they would offer that hospitality.
Not sure, but we can try. Oh, gods, I hate following chains of command. And they will crouch down in front of cargo. And you're not to eat this ship, correct? We'll reach out and scratch his face. I'll bet it was very filling, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, as you're scratching cargo, they seem a little bigger than they were before.
Oh boy.
Oh, you're going to cost so much to feed.
Yeah, just a starship once in a while.
We should also keep an eye out for any intel we can acquire about this Archduke Skarn. He seems to have it out for us specifically, and my technological makeup may present a problem.
Whisker suddenly snaps back into the conversation at this point. Actually, I think I have a plan for this. And throws down this hollow magazine that is the pages.
Porn.
It's not best porn.
Is this more
Best porn. Best porn.
And a hologram begins to emerge from this magazine, and you see these two robotic figures engaged in this explosive clash. And in big, bold text above it, it says, "This Serenith 300th Annual Robo Wrestling Intergalactic Open." And then Whisker throws down this hastily sketched hologram of a mechanical kobold and says, "We need to enter and we need to win."
What?
What?
So don't miss the special episodes from the individual crew members coming soon to the Emergency Power Podcast.
Yay! We did
I
it.
missed you all.
We did it, team.
When life drains you down, charge up on the Emergency Power Network. Theme song Triangles by Diamond Ace. Find them at bandcamp.com. Music provided by Nicholas Judy of Dark Fantasy Studio at darkfantasystudio.com and Tabletop Audio. Find them at tabletopaudio.com. As well as Carl Casey of White Bat Audio. Find them at whitebataudio.com. Font Azonics by Mixo. Find them on Twitter at MixoFX. The Starfinder role-playing game, including its official lore and images, are the intellectual property of Paizo Incorporated, all rights reserved. Narrated by Danny Lee Collins.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm fired. Sorry, I had to.
Oh no! Wow.
It's for wine, for what it's worth.
I think we
Adam doesn't want to hang out with children. I see how it is.
Adam just rage quit his own game.
broke the GM.